Welcome, my name is Peter Strong. I'm a professional online therapist specializing in the treatment of anxiety using mindfulness therapy. So mindfulness-based therapy is extremely effective for overcoming anxiety. And this is because it teaches you how to change the underlying relationship that you have with your emotions. The primary problem that I come across in the clients that I work with is the problem of reactive identification. This is the process whereby you become identified with your anxiety. So anxiety gets triggered in the mind. And that is just a habit, a conditioned habit. But the real problem starts when you become identified with it. This is where you essentially become the emotion, where you become consumed by it, controlled by it, overwhelmed by the anxiety. So this is reactive identification, and this is the key thing that you must change if you wish to break free from anxiety or depression. It's the same process in both conditions that really causes the problem to sustain itself. You essentially end up feeding your anxiety or depression when you identify with it. Other kinds of reactivity that reinforce anxiety and depression are typically the reaction of avoidance, running away from your emotions. That will strengthen anxiety or depression because it cultivates fear of your own anxiety or depression. And the other kind of reactivity that is very, very common is a reactivity based on aversion, pushing the unpleasant emotions away, trying to pretend that they're not there, trying to talk your way out of those emotions. These are all ways of pushing the emotion away, suppressing it, pushing it into the subconscious. And of course, that will simply reinforce the habit that creates anxiety or depression. And that's an important consideration. In my opinion, it is incorrect to call anxiety or depression an illness or a chemical imbalance or any other disorder of that type. These are emotional states that are created psychologically in the mind in reaction to certain triggers. Now, those triggers could include chemical imbalances in the mind, but more typically, it is the anxiety or depression itself that leads to chemical imbalances in the mind, and that those imbalances simply reinforce and feed the underlying psychological condition. So the way that we can overcome our anxiety or depression is by working on changing the way that we relate to our emotions. And this does not require medication. It simply requires very careful, strategic, focused attention on the relationship that you have with your emotions. And that is what we specialize in during mindfulness therapy. And I will teach you how to do this. I have found this approach to be very effective. My clients really enjoy and feel empowered by this approach. And almost all of my clients are able to get off their medications once they start really applying the mindfulness techniques that I teach. So if you'd like to learn more about mindfulness-based psychotherapy for overcoming anxiety and depression as well, then please go to my website and learn more about my services. And please email me with any questions you may have. I will be happy to answer your emails, and when you feel ready, we can then proceed to schedule the first online therapy session. And in that first session, I will teach you the principles of how to apply mindfulness to work with anxiety and depression. Most people really benefit tremendously from this approach, and I typically tell people to look for changes very quickly after the first 1 or 2 sessions. If you start applying these techniques, you will see changes quite quickly. So if you're interested in mindfulness therapy for overcoming anxiety or depression or any other emotional problem, and you like the idea of learning how to do this yourself without relying on medications, then please go to my website and contact me, and we can schedule a Skype therapy session at a time that works for you. I see people throughout North America, but also abroad. I am from the UK originally, so of course I have many clients in the UK and Western Europe, but I also see people in Australia and Japan and South Korea and so on. So all you need is a good internet connection and an updated current version of Skype, and we can conduct online therapy. This is a non-medical approach, but I feel that that is what most people are looking for to produce lasting changes rather than just covering up symptoms. So please contact me. Thank you.